It's not every day that you see someone turn down a deal worth millions of dollars, but guess what? That's exactly what Tiger Woods did. He's pretty steadfast on his morals, and if he said he wouldn't do something, there's no way he'd do it now. In this video, we'll be telling you all about why Tiger Woods didn't take the $800 million offer to join the LIV Golf League. First, no amount is enough to sway golf's most high-profile player. You probably already know this, but Woods was officially titled golf's most popular player this season. Despite being the most prominent player in the world, he's never been a fan of the Saudi-sponsored LIV Tour. In fact, he's got his mindset that nothing could take him away from the American PGA. We've all heard Woods comment on how he doesn't support the Saudi League because of some controversies on funding, and of course, how could he? PGA's the series that gave him a name, a reputation, and an official standing. No amount is good enough to turn your back on a legacy. Next up, how big was the offer? In a recent interview with LIV Golf CEO Greg Norman, we heard that the number was much bigger than we'd initially thought. In fact, Norman said that the number was out there before he even became CEO. LIV approached Woods long before Norman became in charge. Still, he knew all the juicy details about the offer. Turns out, Woods just rejected an offer of a whopping $800 million. When Norman was asked to comment on whether that's true, he just said that the figure was somewhere in that neighborhood. In another press appearance with Fox News, Norman again confirmed that the number was mind-blowing enormous. The Saudis weren't joking when they said they'd start a golf league all right. They're willing to offer some super high 9 digits. This time, Norman said a few more things too. He mentioned that Woods is a needle mover, and that's why LIV came after him. They knew he's the best of the best. But wait, why did Woods turn down this huge offer? Woods has never been shy when it comes to putting his thoughts forward. Last month, he openly disapproved of the LIV series. In fact, he was even disappointed in some players who turned their backs on the PGA Tour that made them famous in the first place. Talking about these high-profile players who accepted some huge checks to appear in the LIV League, Woods said he just doesn't understand it. He said these people only do it for the guaranteed money, not for the sport. There's no incentive to play or earn your worth in the dirt over there. At LIV, these big-name players are just playing a few events and 54 holes. That's it. Woods also said the atmosphere is so different out there that it doesn't even feel like golf. For starters, blaring music and golf simply don't go together, like at all. And get this, there's more to the story. The money trail's been one of the biggest reasons why people don't support the LIV series. In fact, many even went to the extent of saying that the entire series is just a distraction from Saudi's unimpressive human rights record. When an interviewer asked Norman why this rival tour has caused so much chaos in America, the only words he said were, "I don't know." Later, Norman added that he doesn't care about the Saudi-backed league too much. For him, golf is about the game, and he sees LIV as a budding opportunity for both men and women. He also said that LIV's goal is to break up this monopoly in golf built by the PGA. According to him, they're trying to shut the PGA down whatever way they can, and that isn't quite fair. On the other hand, Woods has said that he's worried about young players who won't be able to experience huge golf events because LIV just doesn't align with tradition. In fact, he even suggested that both LIV and Norman weren't doing anything to help the sport itself. Woods also added that Norman has done a few things that aren't in the best interest of their game. Also, what offers did the other players get? Yep, we're here to spill the tea. These high-profile players must have had good reason to jeopardize their golf careers at the PGA, right? Well, we've heard several reports saying that Phil Mickelson got a $200 million signing bonus. And if that wasn't enough, Dustin Johnson got a whopping $150 million too. Did you think that was all? Nope. Each event offers up to $25 million in prize money too. And that's why these players didn't think for a moment before betraying their home ground. It's also important to mention that LIV only has one player from the top 20 right now, and that's Johnson. As for the others, we're not sure they'd be making the big move from PGA to LIV. Back in June, the PGA was quick to suspend 17 members who accepted offers from LIV and appeared in the series' first season. What's going to happen next? We can only wait and watch. And now for some other big golf news. First up, there's a burning hot lawsuit in town. Remember how the PGA Tour suspended a whole bunch of players? Well, they're being sued now. And who's amongst that list of 11 LIV players who are suing PGA? Phil Mickelson. In fact, he wants to play on the tour again very soon, and that's why he's fast-tracking this lawsuit. If they get a favorable decision, we might end up seeing Mickelson and the others in the FedEx Cup playoffs next week. The truth is that these golfers were always meant to play in the Cup, but PGA just suspended them out of nowhere when they left for LIV. But hey, we've got some news on Mickelson too. Apparently, his suspension goes far beyond LIV. He was actually suspended back in March after his overly ambitious comments about Saudi Arabia and the entire LIV Golf League. The lawsuit also says Mickelson was removed from the PGA Tour for recruiting players to compete at LIV. There's really a lot going on in golf tours nowadays. Who knew? Next up, Henrik Stenson won his first event on this breakaway tour. Yes, we thought it'd be fitting to talk about the LIV League for a bit too. Let's talk about the Bedminster tournament last week where Henrik Stenson came out incredibly victorious. The former Open champion completed all 54 holes on 11 under par, which put him 2 clear of Johnson and Matthew Wolff. Stenson's Ryder Cup captain status was stolen away as soon as he confirmed going to LIV, so this win was much needed for him. Despite all the pressure around this debut game, he entered the final round with a remarkable 3-stroke lead over Johnson. Then, all he needed were 3 birdies and 1 bogey to seal the deal. Well, he'd already sealed the deal. We meant the competition, of course. And lastly, Cameron Smith just got a huge warning. He might have been taken with the wind after that huge check from LIV, but there's still some important decision-making to do. The former Ryder Cup captain Mark James gave us an interesting comment last week. Even though he agreed that the financial benefits from the Saudi-backed league were huge, he couldn't quite agree with how big the merits would be. After all, LIV is just starting out. Is it worth it? Smith just secured his first major title at the 150th Open Championship at St. Andrews, but people just wouldn't let him celebrate in peace. In fact, he was almost immediately stormed with questions about whether he's leaving for the LIV League soon. Even though Smith refused to comment, there was something about his tone and expressions that gave everything away. The press knew there was something Smith was hiding in the back closet, maybe something that looks like $1 million check. Now, looking at all this chaos, James couldn't help but warn Smith to think about his future carefully. After all, James knows what he's talking about. He's been in the game for years. In an interview, James said that he can imagine how LIV is weighing up Smith's contracts right now. He added that they might have to pay him over $100 million if they want him to give up all those contracts and play at LIV. In fact, James also added that he doesn't know much about the money in golf right now. Even then, getting a contract of $100 million at Smith's age would be a really big deal. Still, James only wanted to remind the golfing newcomer that it's not always about the money. He questioned whether Smith would be playing with his mind on the golf, if he'll really enjoy everything he's doing. In the end, James couldn't help but say there are a lot of question marks all over this new Saudi-backed golf tour. They're trying to bag big and small players, but how successful are they going to be? Nobody really knows. And that's a wrap on all this golf gossip. Do you support Tiger Woods' decision to straight up reject the $800 million? Tell us what you think in the comments below. Before you head out, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more awesome content like this. See you next time.